is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
Welcome back to Run It Back, ladies and gentlemen, on Kansas City Sports Network. I am your host, Jazsmin Halliburton, and joined with me once again is none other than Hannah Whetstone, ESPN Plus sideline reporter for all K-State sports. Hannah, once again, thank you for coming on to the show. And I know today, literally just a few hours ago, you were on sideline for K-State soccer in what was a very pivotal game for them as far as their chances to go back to the Big 12 tournament. But it did not quite go as planned, and because you are who you are, you got a very front row seat to the show. So Hannah, your thoughts. Your thoughts.
It was a cold one for starters. I was like freezing my tail off the whole time. But yeah, K-State needed to win today, and it didn't happen. And it was unfortunate. You know, it's the last home game of the season. It was senior day too. So I kind of feel for those girls. You know, that's always really tough. But it's been a theme all season that we keep, you know, K-State continued to go into the second half tied, whether it was 0-0 or today it was 1-1. And we keep getting beat on these late in the game goals. I mean, that's what happened against BYU. I was watching that game, and we were on the road in Utah, and I was like, oh my gosh, K-State is going to beat this, or at least tie with this ranked team. This is going to be huge for us. And then BYU scores in like the 79th and the 85th minute or something to beat us 2-0. And then they get a bunch of points from that. And it's like, it just is such a bummer to like see, because I feel like there were so many chances this season where we just miss it by this really small margin, and it literally makes the difference between us making another appearance in the Big 12 tournament or not. And there was kind of a parlay of things that needed to go right today. K-State needed to win, and Cincinnati needed to lose today for us to go to the tournament. And obviously K-State did not win, but it's been really, I mean, I think if there's like any silver lining, it's that I think we have some things to look forward to next season. Week after week, we see 3 upperclassmen playing for K-State, and all freshmen plus a couple sophomores sprinkled in there. Today's goal was scored by a freshman, Josie's. She had 3 goals this season, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but compared to the amount of total goals that K-State scored this season, it's quite a few. So she's up there on the points list as a freshman, which is really encouraging and really exciting to see. Obviously, Jazmine Brown is only a sophomore too, and is a key part of this K-State soccer team too. And I could go on and on. There are so many underclassmen. I think about somebody that me and Brian and Oscar had been are really impressed with, especially late in the season, was Crosby Nicholson. She is just this super calm, level-headed player. She handles the ball so well. And maybe handles isn't the right word. I don't know. I'm thinking basketball here, but she has incredible ball control. She is never, her face is just total calm. She can have 6 defenders on her at once, and she can dribble clear out of traffic, no problems. I don't think I've literally ever seen her lose the ball. Nothing comes to mind. So there's just little things like that I'm like, okay, that's encouraging, because these girls got all this experience this season, and dare I say, we're in the trenches, and hopefully they come into next season with a chip on their shoulder, and they're eager to prove something, because I think that this program has the players and probably and does have recruits coming in that can be the difference and make us not only a team that participates in the Big 12 tournament, but a team that contends for a title. Because that's the other thing, is that this program is starting to get to a point where it's not new anymore, right? Yeah. Next will be our 9th season. And yes, I guess that's relatively like new in the grand scheme of things, but we've been around the block a time or two. It's time for us to like get our cake and eat it too. I think that the program in general is hungry for some piece of the action in like legitimate conference play. And boy, it would be very, very cool to say that K-State has like a ranked soccer team too. So that was a lot, but that's what I got.
No, that was perfect, because I know going through today, like you said earlier, a lot of things needed to go right for K-State to still have a chance to go to the Big 12 tournament. And it was there. It was achievable. This was no this was a stretch for them to trying to get like, we need like this to go right, that to go right. You need 4 other teams to lose, yada yada. It wasn't that. It was a very reachable goal for them. And they got that early goal, like you said, with Josie's, what was that, in like 7th minute?
I was going to say, I think it was 7 minutes.
Yeah, it was really early in the game off of Riley Baker. She got pressure on the goalkeeper. It took a really good save from her, but then she got the rebound, and that was just an open net for Josie's apparent, it was right there. It was right there for her, right? And then it was looking good. They were pressing more. They found a lot of success pressing more offensively and things like that. Yes. And then, because I think Iowa State and K-State, they're very as far as record goes and the type of struggles that we both had, they're really equal. They're an equal setting team. Obviously, I think Iowa State is a little bit older, and then once again, that experience does help you in a lot of different areas, especially this. Like I said, we've said this all season. Like on here, on TV during games, this is a young ass team, bro. Yeah. These are straight kiddos. You know what I mean? And so. And the straight kiddos, this is not the season, I guess, fully to remember. And I know I'm saying it like it's over, because essentially it is. They got one more game left, and that's Sunflower Showdown, which unfortunately, I hate to call it the toilet bowl, but that's kind of where it's at, because we're in the Big 12. K-State at 13, KU at 14 out of a 14-team conference. So not the greatest. Both teams have no chance of going to the postseason. So the best thing you could ask for is at least this is a rivalry game, and and that's the motivation. Not saying it would be hard to motivate either of these teams to end the season on a good note, but having it be your in-state rival does kind of help. And I haven't watched a damn lick of Jayhawk soccer at all this season. All I know is what I heard for K-State, right? And what you're talking about, how there's, the potential for this K-State team is so damn high. Okay, because I talked about this last week with Sophie, and it's I call it Coach Dabini, kind of he's in his mad scientist mode, because how much he's cooking, how much he's switching up the roster, putting Jazsmin Brown at the midfield for these last 4-5-ish games, right? And her out of her center back position, where she's one of the better defenders in the Big 12 conference. So in itself, that took some kahunas to move your best defensive player to a position that she has never played before. Honestly, looking at her today, I think today might have been possibly the most confident I've seen her in that midfield position. And I always I want to see how much she improves offensively, because obviously the defense is there. The defense is there. We got to worry about that. We can push that off to the side, because we know she's good. She's got that. But when she had the ball at her feet, and she had a room. The defenders are giving her room to go up the field, and she's probably looking around all right, and moving the ball up the field. And she even had a couple of shots, especially in that second half. I know she scored 3 goals this year on headers. How many times gets a shot off using her feet? Right, not that many times, because I know for sure late in the second half she had one that would have been on, if she would just had to put that on frame.
Yes,
that was but she overshot it.
That corner kick. I know.
I'm gosh, is she just more used to shooting the ball with her feet instead of her head? Yeah, that was there for her, and this would have made this game a lot more interesting, because I think at that point we were down 2-1, right? Yeah. And K-State to have multiple goals in a game. I know Brian was talking about this on air. The last time K-State scored more than 1 goal in a game was 2-ish months ago. Right. That's a long time.
I couldn't even believe it'd been that long. Yeah, I know. And you're talking about that corner kick. That had us all oh my gosh, we're so close. And I think Jazsmin Brown, she couldn't even believe it, but she's normally she's not that close to to the goal either. And we got 3 really good chances on that corner kick too. I mean, Riley Baker and Kenzie Gillespie each took a shot. They got deflected, and then if that ball was maybe 4 feet lower, that's a great goal right there.
Yeah, because it was right there. It just wasn't in the cards, and I understand that because you got to go through some fire to get to where you want to go. Because this is a conference that literally got harder overnight, practically, and it will continue to get harder, even though Texas being gone does help. And for next season, Texas being gone does help, but still, obviously, you get the BYU, you get Houston, you get everybody that's still here, and then of course you add the Pac-12 team with Utah, Arizona State, and who am I missing? Colorado, right?
Yeah. Right.
I do not know their soccer programs. I don't know how good they are. I don't know how much they really cooking up there, but either way, that's 4 more teams you're getting that they don't know you and you don't know them, essentially, right? So you're gonna have that ability to use that usefulness, because that, say, this time next year there'll be a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors where you can really get something. And Hannah, you were just talking about Crosby, how calm she is on the ball. I think her and Morgan Strutman are the best on-ball players that we have.
I would agree.
And that's something that I think that, at least I hope, Coach Savini is going to look to grab more of in his recruiting process over the years. A lot of other players, I'm not saying this is a bad thing at all, but when they have the ball at their feet, and if there's not a defender within 3 feet away from them, then they're driven. If there is any defender, any sort of pressure, that's the first thing they do is kick it away. And a lot of times the ball is intercepted and it can go the other way, right? For a counter for the other team. But I noticed that is not happening a lot or at all with Morgan Strutman and Crosby. These 2 freshmen, so calm with the ball at their feet. I'm like, that right there. We
just need more of that.
Yeah, we need more of that. And I'm not saying that any of the other players on the team is not capable of that. I'm not saying at all. But it is such a huge difference on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, when you have a player that can just dribble. I can go out there and just dribble, using defenders like their cones, just dribble around them and still be able to make something happen and make a right pass, still keep their head up and get an assist, at least go down and have a chance, right? I'm like, that right there is when you see, damn, this is the potential that we might see. This is the mad scientist of him switching up positions, switching up the roster every single game, essentially.
Yeah.
Every single game is going to be a new person. Be like, okay, who is that again on this roster? Oh, okay. He's going to do that every game. It's so easy that's just how deep of the bench he has. And that's why I think he has more players who has the ability of Morgan Strutman and Crosby as far as being so calm on the ball. And then once again, Jazsmin being as comfortable as we've seen her, also with the ball at her feet, because they're just going to give her room to move the ball upfield, and then that as well. So I'm liking it. I know this season it was doo-doo. It was doo-doo overall, record-wise. It was doo-doo. All right?
Right.
We get that. We didn't expect them to go undefeated. We didn't expect them to just turn into Texas overnight. We know. But we just want to know that, by the upperclassmen, when I know Morgan Strutman's an upperclassman, Josie is an upperclassman, Crosby's upperclassman, when these freshmen get into their junior season, they gonna be cooking. Yeah, that's right. I know high expectations. I'm like, y'all, if y'all don't finish top 5 by the time y'all are juniors, that's a lot of pressure to put on them, and I'm not gonna do that. But damn it, I'm just saying, just because I can see it,
I think I can see it too, for sure. I would say the season's not all for naught, right? They got, really important Big 12 experience, and this is something that they can look back at. And like I said before, okay, we've been down, it's time to get up, so.
Yes, it's damn sure time to get up, and they'll learn. Over half of their games that they've lost came down to experience. That's all I got to say about that, right? Well, now we're going to go into our first break, but first and foremost, please do not forget to hit up Home Field Apparel to get your new gear, get your new hats, get you some jackets, because it's getting chilly out here, and I know y'all need some K-State gear to keep up with the weather. And also, huge shout out to Studio Wax please go over me, get your eyebrows done, your legs waxed, anything, head to toe. It don't matter. My girl Kylie will get you taken care of at Studio Wax. We will be right back on Run It Back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Welcome back to Run It Back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jazsmin Halliburton, and joined with me is none other than Hannah Whetstone, sideline reporter for all K-State sports. If you missed the first half, no worries. We just talked a little bit of K-State soccer. Talked about, yes, overall, numbers-wise, the season was duty. It was duty. It was dookie. It was doo-doo. It was bad. But, okay, because we look on the bright side over here, homie. The potential that this team has, because like we talked about it before, these are children. Like they're all freshmen, they're all sophomores with a sprinkle of upperclassmen in there, and a roster turnover, roster pushing and plugging and stuff like this from Coach Dabini. He sees something. This is just experimental mode. No one's expecting for them to go undefeated. Yada yada. This, that, and the third didn't happen, but they were still very, very close to going to the Big 12 tournament for the second year in a row. That would be the first time in school history that they've done that for the second year in a row, because they've gone, 2 times in the last 3 years if you count the 2020 season. That it didn't happen, but if the tournament did happen, they would have gone. But anyway, that's neither here or there. We know we talked about soccer. If you missed it, you can go back and watch that and or listen to it. But now, Hannah, we move on to a little bit of K-State volleyball. And first, we're going to talk about, because I understand there was a game at the same damn time as K-State football. And yesterday, when K-State volleyball was playing UCF, that's like the second or third time that schedule has done that, and I don't like it. But we'll get into that in a minute, okay? But first and foremost, I do want to talk about K-State getting their second top 25 dub against Iowa State. I want to say, what was that, Thursday? And not only was it a straight dub, it was a sweep. 3-0 at home against number 25 Iowa State. Like they showed up. I'm just saying, they showed up. We know what this volleyball team has. We've seen it early in the season, a lot of it of a slow start. Like if it wasn't a Power 5 team, gonna pack them up quickly, right? If it was a Power 5 team, we kind of got packed up quickly. You know what I mean? But right. That's changed. That has changed like we'd expected and like we hoped when Big 12, games came around, right? And they've improved so much with already halfway through the season. They got the sweep against number 25, Iowa State. You had Aaliyah Carter doing Aaliyah Carter things, obviously. But then, of course, Anaya Clinton, who just jumped on the scene this season, like kicking down the doors, like, here the hell I am. Okay, she had 12 kills, led K-State with 12 kills, 3 blocks. Of course, Leah Carter doing her thing. She had 9 kills, 2 aces. All right, 2 aces for Leah Carter and a block. And of course, Sydney Folding, 7 kills, 3 blocks. Shaylee Myers getting in on the action with 6 kills and 4 blocks for her. Okay, so that's what happened with K-State. Iowa State in the good old Armageddon. Wheat is better than corn. We've been new. Yada yada. We've been new this. Ain't nothing new. But I know seeing this game, because I do want to talk a little bit about Anaya Clinton, because honestly, just like Shaylee Myers, to me, how Shaylee Myers, she jumped on the scene early last season. And I think Anaya Clinton has done the same thing this season. And you can see the improvement of the younger players in front of our very eyes. And I very much like it. Because last week I talked about Brenna Schmidt. I know beforehand when you took Sydney Bolding off the floor, I want to say bad things happened, but it was a drop off. It was a drop off offensively, defensively, when Sydney Bolding, one of the best middle blockers in the Big 12, when she was off the floor, it wasn't that same spark. It was a drop off in play. There's no if, ands, or but about it. But now you have Brenna Schmidt coming in, 6'6" queen herself, coming in and playing a lot more confident and being that middle blocker. And offensively, she's doing a great job. You can literally see how much more confident that she's getting. I talked about her last weekend, and now I'm talking a little bit more about Anaya Clinton, because what stood out with me and seeing her early in the season, I know she had a few hitting errors to where she's spiking that mug through somebody's face, ill intentions. but other times she just a little bit too much across court, and her accuracy of where she was hitting, it just wasn't there. She was just kind of hitting it just to hit it because she has that power. And like nothing wrong with that. Power to her. It's just that's where the hitting errors came. But now seeing that earlier in the season, and then seeing that against Iowa State and pretty much throughout the middle of the season where she's not only hitting with power, she's now hitting with accuracy. Okay, she's starting to dot them up a little bit on that far back line, a little bit closer to where a lot of times like that's out of play. It's out of play, and that's going to be an automatic point for the opponents. Okay, that's where it was. She had the killer intentions of spiking that through somebody's face, and it just overhit it a little bit, and that's where the hitting errors came. And then I just saw her through Iowa State. I'm like, you know what? Like a few weeks ago, that was going the other way. That was a point that was going the other way. So I really like what she was doing, and I really like how Jason Mansfield once again getting his second top 25 win in the Mansfield era, and how you can visually see the improvement that he's doing in his very first year of coaching with these younger players.
Yeah, I think, and we talk about him getting his like second ranked win. He talked about in his like post game press conference, he said just how much confidence that big Baylor win gave them. Not only was it a ranked win, it was on the road as well. And so that was just so essential to morale on the team and to just boosting players' confidence as the season continues. And so them being able to come back home and pick up another ranked win and not just a ranked win, a sweep of a ranked opponent is so huge. And he made another point that I want to talk about too, is that the Cats are 8-0 when they win the first set.
That part.
So we just need to do a little bit more of that. And basically it sounds like when the Cats are up, they stay up. Okay?
Yeah. That's exactly how it is.
Takeaway there.
Because going through here, like Iowa State, I know because I was noticing this, and also when I was watching their game against UCF, which we'll touch a little bit more on in a minute, how when they force teams to play at their speed, at K-State speed, like that's when, Hannah, you're talking about, once they get that first hit, once they're playing at their own speed and not the other team's speed, first set, you 8-0. That is like, that you can put that on a t-shirt. That is solidified. That's not sometime. That is solidified. Now that when they win the first set, they are 8-0 when they do that. Okay, when they're forcing teams to play at their speed, that's when they're able to do that, just like they did against Iowa State. Iowa State obviously ain't no scrub. They're ranked top 25 for a reason. I'm not going to dispute that. Okay, so because they had some hitting errors, they had some other attacking errors and stuff like that, kind of like a little bit uncharacteristic, but that's part of that, like playing at K-State speed. They're forcing them to play at their speed, and that's how I kind of want to transition to UCF. K-State lost to UCF in 5 sets, and UCF is undefeated in Big 12 play. And honestly, I was like looking at them, I was like, they're at 16-2 overall. I'm like, why the hell is UCF not ranked?
I was looking at that too.
I was watching them play. I'm like, they only dropped 2 sets to conference opponents, like in the 6 games before coming into the game against K-State. They only lost 2 sets. I'm like, why do make it make sense? Why are the Knights not ranked? Now we're just kind of really digging into it, because I'm like they're like, they eat those scrubs. I'm like, they're pretty good. And yeah, forcing 5 sets with them, I was like, because I looked at their schedule, and I guess the reason that they are not ranked is because they played a fairly weak schedule. Just start their Big 12 conference. We are the toughest Big 12 team they've played so far. Yeah, they played Cincinnati, even though we lost to Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati and us, I think, were like neck and neck in the middle of the pack in the Big 12. And then they played. I'll probably, let me check on that. I actually have the volleyball standings right now. It is,
they played Oklahoma after Cincinnati, and
Oklahoma is bottom of the Big 12 right now. They win, and then Cincinnati, they're 2-5 in conference play. K-State is 4-4. So by far, record wise, we were the toughest opponent that UCF has played in conference, because like you said, Hannah, they played They played Oklahoma, only dropping 1 set in that 2-game series. Played Texas Tech. Texas Tech also bottom of the Big 12, and West Virginia also towards the bottom of the Big 12. So, yeah, we'll see. As much as like if UCF, because they're still a good team. I'm not disputing that their 16-2 record, it was too easy, yada yada. That's why they're unranked, even though still, that's why I believe they are unranked, considering how good of a record that they have, because they played kind of like a meh, conference schedule. Played Navy, Syracuse, Albany, FIU, Mississippi State, Wake Forest. They lost to Wake Forest. Alabama State. Then they won against Florida State. I'm gonna say their only loss in non-conference was against 17th ranked Purdue.
You're right. Yeah, I was looking at that too. Yeah,
that's the only ranked opponent they played against, and that's the only opponent that they lost to. Right. Then of course after that was Illinois, and they won that. And then it goes into them now being 7-0 in Big 12 conference play, with K-State being the toughest team that they played halfway through their conference schedule. So in a way, that's what it is. But something that I did notice, Hannah, about K-State playing UCF, because I mentioned this a little bit earlier before about the speed and how K-State was forcing Iowa State to play at their speed. UCF played really fast in my eyes. UCF just seemed like a really fast team, how they were playing. And that's something I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to when watching volleyball. But then I'm like, yo, they're playing really, really fast, and K-State is playing fast too. And I'm like, this type of speed does not seem to be in like K-State's realm. However, they was really hanging in there. Like at least K-State was playing with the speed of UCF. So honestly, if I was Jason Mansfield, I'm like, yo, they're not used to playing. Like, we're not used to playing at this speed, but I see the benefits of us playing at this speed. Yeah. Like I kind of saw that, right? So, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like down the line, I would think as a player or as a coach, you appreciate playing opponents like UCF that have a quick style of play, because when they go to play Texas or, a team like that is also going to play fast, they're going to have seen that before and have experience and also be confident like in themselves again. I talked about confidence earlier, but I mean, honestly, that's my whole theory in any like Division I sport is mental toughness is like half the battle. As somebody who does not play Division I sports, I would like to think that the skill level they're all very talented athletes. You have to believe that you're good and like believe that you're capable of winning. So I feel like, yes, we dropped this match to UCF, but if we can also have Aaliyah Carter can have 22 kills against this team that plays speedy quick, what's keeping her from having 22 kills against any other team in the Big 12 or in the NCAA tournament, anything like that. So I think that there's like a lot of positives to playing, at a speed that you're not used to. And I think it also helps our defense get better too. It helps our big blockers move fast and efficiently and get to blocks quick, because Brenna and Sydney, and I mean, those are the girls that really come to mind for me, obviously, as middle blockers. But I mean, those girls can be walls and impossible to hit on when they are like locked in and they're on time. So I think, again, just like experience playing with that speed, it can like really, really help our girls.
I agree. And we will be right back with more volleyball takes after this quick break.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
The NFL season is going strong, ladies and gentlemen, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with an offer that is even stronger. You feel me? Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instantly in bonus bets, and DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game day this October. Get in on the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code KCSN. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet 5 on the NFL. That's code KCSN. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available, or for problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expired 168 hours after issuance. Please see sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restriction terms and responsible gaming resources. Welcome back to Run It Back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jazsmin Halliburton, and joined with me is none other than Hannah Whetstone, sideline reporter for all K-State sports. So beforehand, we talked about K-State soccer. The potential is there. The vision is there. We see it, and we expect a lot of really good things for them. If not next year, at least the year after that, when all these really good freshmen and sophomores are juniors and seniors, you feel me? And we talked a little bit more about K-State volleyball getting the sweep against top 25 Iowa State on Thursday. Packed them up real damn quickly. I was so confident. I was like, you know what? Rank us, you cowards. I tweeted that out. You can also follow me at Jazsmin3H on Twitter, JAZSMIN3H. You feel me? And I was real confident. I was so confident. I was like, Hannah, rank us. Why are we not ranked? Because I'm like, hello, it's there. The product is on the floor. You see it. And then, of course, we go to UCF, a team that, in my opinion, probably should have been ranked. I think earned the right to be ranked, have a better record than Iowa State, who was 25 and who was ranked. Don't know the ranking process when it comes to volleyball. There's a lot of records that are like better records here, worse records here, but this team is ranked and this team is not ranked. That's beyond my knowledge on how they ranked and on how they rank volleyball. I will say that with my whole chest, beyond my knowledge. But we talked about the speed of the game was just different against UCF. And I'm not saying that was K-State's downfall. Honestly, it wasn't. There's not an extreme downfall in my eyes with this game. Because we do better when we win the first set, because we're 8-0 when K-State wins the first set. But the speed of the game was not the issue in this loss with UCF. Because this was a tight match. This went 5 sets. Real damn close. You feel me? I know last week when I was talking with Sophie, I used the analogy of like a 300-pound man shopping at Baby Gap. That's the kind of tight that it was, right? That's where my mindset was at with this game here, and the speed that UCF was playing at. They were playing hella fast, and K-State was honestly right there with them. Yes, does it benefit when a team is trying to play the same speed at you and you're better at that speed and that's why you win? Yeah. Because that's why K-State won against Iowa State. They were forcing them to play at their speed. UCF was forcing K-State to play at their speed, and K-State was doing a lot better playing at that speed than I think any of us thought. Because I'm like, yo, they really hanging in there. I'm like, I can see some benefits for them changing up speed set by set against other teams. I'm like, oh, like this is a little bit on the fly. I know, Coach Manfield, they watch film. They see UCF playing at the speed that they did, and they practice that, and they practice for that, right? I'm like, I don't know. These in other places. I mean, like if you are be able to switch up like that against other teams who like to play faster, other teams that like to play slower, when you know that you can have a really good game offensively playing at both speeds, shit.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I'm like, I don't know, a little eyebrow raise and be like, they might have a little something. Don't know it until we see it, but this little taste that we got against UCF, I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like it, okay? Because once again, you mentioned it, Hannah, when seeing this speed, because once again, that's the number one thing that jumped out to me was the speed of UCF and the speed that K-State was able to play against UCF. And of course, Aaliyah Carter having 22 kills. And you said, like, literally what's stopping her from having 22 kills against Texas, who also plays fast, right? And at least in my unathletic opinion, nothing. I'm like, there's not, like, I think nothing that can really stop her, okay? Because they could do that. I know overall in the season they could probably get better offensively. You know, despite obviously Shaylee Myers, another double-digit kill night for her. She had 10 kills, 3 blocks. Okay, she's doing real good on the defensive end. Like K-State is just a really good defensive team. Whereas Nia Clinton, 8 kills, 2 blocks, and of course, City Bowling being the block queen. There we go. That was a hard word to say. She had 6 blocks on the night. I'll go with her 5 kills, and she had 1 ace. So, seeing how this at that speed, once again, forcing 5 sets against UCF, who only dropped 2 sets throughout they were like, 6-0 coming in to conference play, and they only dropped 2 sets during that time. That's it. I don't care who you are, that's kind of ridiculous. Being only dropping 2 sets in 6 games. That's wild to me. So that's still, they would be like, yo, you only dropped 2 sets of the season and you dropped 2 sets already in this one game. All right, once again, in the toughest team that they played so far, but you can't knock it because it's right there on paper in front of you, right? So seeing them and honestly what they're able to do defensively is that, because I was looking at the standings for K-State defensively, right? K-State is like, bro, they're like top 5 in a lot of defensive categories. I was looking at trying to pull it back up. They're like top 5 in, of course, blocks. I think they're like 4th. They're 4th in the Big 12 in blocks so far, with obviously the bigger names, BYU and Texas being at the top. I know in opponent hitting percentage, they allow the 2nd lowest hitting percentage in the Big 12, only behind BYU. They only allow a 159 hitting percentage. Yes, it. Like that's crazy. You were in like BYU's number 1, K-State number 2, TCU number 3, and Texas at number 4. Look, don't list the schools that you with right now. That's good company. That's really good company to be in. Right? 100 assists, and like they're 3rd, only allowing 10 assists per game. And once UCF, BYU is 1 and 2 in that category. So top 3 already in those 2 categories. Opponent kills, K-State number 3 in allowing opponent kills, with the 3rd least in the conference. Let's see amount of kills, blocks. Here we go. K-State is 4th in blocks with, let's see. Oh my goodness, no, I do not want to renew my antivirus protection. Go away. Okay, here we go. Back to it. My computer's doing some stupid stuff right in the middle of when I need it. Anywho, Texas number 1 in blocks in the Big 12. They average 3.12 blocks per game. TCU, I'm just gonna round it up to 3 blocks a game. BYU, and then K-State. Talked about it. Like, I know me and Sophie talked about it last week, how well that K-State is defensively. The work that their defensive coach is doing is godsend. That's one of the things I'm like, you can improve. So many things can follow when you improve defense first. And because you have the offensive skill players. You have Aaliyah Carter. Aaliyah Carter, she's not leaving the floor. Okay, you're either gonna have her in that front row or you're gonna have her in that back row. It's like this ain't leaving the floor. And of course, you once again add City Bowling, one of the best middle blockers in the Big 12, and obviously you have Brenna Schmidt, who was I think she's either a sophomore or a redshirt sophomore. Not 100% sure, but either way, she's a youngin', right? And her being more confident and more comfortable in that middle blocker spot, because that position is going to be hers when City Bowling leaves. When City graduates, that spot is hers, right? So seeing this defensively is just you just love to see this with a first year head coach. First year head coach, first season. He's never had a head coaching job before. As all assistant, but normally in other times, I get it. This is the time of the transfer portal, which really, really helps. But still, in other times, first year head coach, you'd be lucky to get 500.
Yeah. I think some things to acknowledge about the UCF game, as we talked about, K-State, especially in the Big 12 standings, has excelled in holding opponents to a low hitting percentage, and they held UCF to 111. Mm-hmm. Really low. So, and they hit, I want to say 193. So, and then, and we're talking about stats, and something that I noticed, especially when I was working those TCU games a couple weeks ago, and something that K-State not to put a negative spin on this, but if we do want to like acknowledge possibly a contribution to this loss, is service errors. The point deficit of all 5 matches was 17 points, and K-State had 18 service errors. I mean, you literally eliminate 2 of those, and I mean, hypothetically, like we win the match. We don't lose those points, or those points are fought out a different way. So I feel like becoming more consistent on serves is essential here. I think that you can literally just look at that and be like, okay, that might be something that they can improve on. But I also don't want that to take away from, again, the impressive defensive stand that K-State continues to deliver on. They're ranked, 3 in that stat for a reason in the Big 12. And we see that even losing this match to UCF, that they still held them to a really low hitting percentage. So I feel like there's like some negatives and there are some positives of all those stats, but there's nothing that can't be improved upon. And again, just with time too, we talk about there's some youngins in there, just like in soccer. So just becoming more consistent is so essential.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. And they are 5th in service aces in the Big 12. They have 95 on the season. In comparison, UCF has 159, which is absolutely insane, right? But and I was going through what K-State, the rest of their schedule, they have 10 games left in the season. And after Oklahoma, schedule gets a little aggressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They have a 2-game series in Norman against Oklahoma, who's at the bottom of the Big 12 right now, but ain't nobody gonna sleep on them. No way, no how. At least I'm not. And then here's that aggression that's coming up. You get 2-game series against BYU, who's number 9 in the country at the moment, 2nd in the Big 12. Then you have 16th ranked Kansas. That's once again doubleheader, 2-game series. Then you have number 7 Texas in Manhattan, and then you go to play against Texas Tech at home in Manhattan, and then you end the season against 21 ranked Houston. So once again, I stress these last 2 games a little bit aggressive, but I think the best, because I kind of calculated this, I think like the best thing that could happen, and I can see it happening, is that they go 6-4 in these last 10 games. Hopefully they beat Oklahoma. That kicks things off with me being right. They beat Oklahoma in the 2 straight games that they played. I don't see them coming out with a win against BYU. It'd be real damn dope if they did, but I don't necessarily see it happening. I can see us splitting against KU, splitting one game against 16th ranked KU. Don't see us pulling out a win against Texas, even though like BYU and Texas are both at home, so I expect the crowd to be like up there and rocking, right? But I don't see us, taking the win in that one. But Texas Tech, I don't remember. Do we? I have us splitting Texas Tech. No, I think I have us winning Texas Tech both games, and then nope, I lied. Dropping Texas Tech one of the game, 1-1 with Texas Tech, and then winning the last game at Houston against 21st ranked Houston. So that's where I'm at. 6-4, have a possibility of what they can pull out. Hannah, do you have your thoughts on the possibility that they can pull something out in these last 10 games?
Right. I mean, we've already beat ranked opponents, and I am a big time optimist. So, I like to think that there's some ranked wins in our future. I also like to think that K-State is a ranked team by the time we play some of these teams, because I think that when we play our best, there's no reason that a team that has girls putting up double-digit blocks and 22 kills and beating ranked opponents can't be a ranked team as well. But we also have to be realistic that we're probably not going to be 10-0 these next few games. But if we're not beating BYU, we better be pretty dang close. And if we're not beating Texas, we better be giving them a run for their money at least, especially because they're home games. But I also don't see this as a team that's just going to like lay down for anybody. So, but I think that we'll get those wins over OU. I like to think a little 2-0 moment for KU as well and Texas Tech. So, what do we think?
Hey, I like that because after this we'll wrap it up. But I think that experience of playing Nebraska so early in the season, once again at home, because you're getting a lot of these ranked teams at home, thank the Lord, right? Because playing Nebraska obviously it was a sweep, but as I was watching that game, I was like, yo, if a point here and there, if the ball just fell the right way right here, that was so close. I'm not saying we would have won against Nebraska, but damn it, we would have won at least a set, right?
Yeah.
And thinking like, okay, they have grown and they have gotten so much better since losing to number 4th ranked at that time, Nebraska. I think Nebraska might be, I don't know, 2nd ranked. I don't know where they at. They still damn good. That's all I will say. They still damn good. But that experience of playing probably the toughest team they played so far this season, still being Nebraska, and then coming into playing BYU at home, back-to-back nights, and then once again having Texas. These are 2 top 10 teams coming into your house. That experience of playing against Nebraska, I think, should play some dividends going up against BYU and Texas. So Hannah, I'm gonna be on that optimistic vibe with you as well. Fingers crossed that if we not gonna win, we damn sure gonna make sure they feel a little bit nervous when they have to play us again. That's all I want to be like. I don't know if we can do that again. I want them to not feel confident that they could beat our ass. You know what I mean? That's right. All. That's all I want. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
There's no spot.
And there's no spot range. We were just casually getting clothes and putting them down. It's all right. I'm scared of ghosts. All right. But no, I'm just playing. Yes, I am. But that's besides the point. Anyway, but still, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And Hannah, thank you for coming on the show. As always, a pleasure to have you, knowing you got all the skinny with K-State Sports being on that sideline. We appreciate you. And please come back to us when we return next week with Run It Back.